Kiss. They didn't just form a band, they assembled a mythology piece by piece, like they were building a myth that hadn't been told yet. In New York City in 1972, two restless musicians kept circling the same idea. Rock music had become predictable, too polished, too safe, too forgettable. So Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons started imagining something bigger, something that didn't just sound loud, but looked like it came from another world. They recruited Ace Frehley, a guitar player whose style felt unpredictable, like he was tuning into static from space. Then came Peter Criss, a drummer with a gritty, streetwise swing that gave the band its human pulse. At first, they weren't called anything legendary. They were just another struggling act playing small clubs, lugging gear through dirty streets, chasing rent money and recognition. The turning point wasn't fame, it was identity. They decided music alone wasn't enough. They needed transformation. That's when the makeup came in. Each member created a persona, not costumes, but characters. Simmons became the Demon, a towering, fire-breathing figure of theatrical menace. Stanley became the Star Child, a romantic frontman channeling charisma and control. Frehley became the Spaceman, drifting between technical brilliance and cosmic chaos. Criss became the Catman, grounded, instinctual, almost primal in rhythm. When they first stepped on stage fully made up, it didn't feel like a concert anymore. It felt like a signal being broadcast. But the early years were brutal. Club audiences didn't know what to make of them. Some laughed, some left early. Critics dismissed them as gimmick over substance. Even within the band, tension grew. Long nights, low pay, and the pressure of trying to turn an idea into survival. And yet they refused to scale back. Instead, they escalated everything. Lights became weapons. Smoke became atmosphere. Drums were lifted higher. Guitars were set on fire, sometimes literally. Simmons would spit blood on stage, not for shock alone, but because shock had become part of the language they were inventing. Every show was designed to overwhelm the senses until doubt couldn't survive inside the noise. Then came the breakthrough era. Albums like Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, and Dressed to Kill built the foundation, but it was Destroyer that sharpened the identity. Suddenly, songs weren't just performances, they were chants, anthems, shared experiences between band and audience. Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Loud, Rock and Roll All Night. These weren't just tracks, they were invitations to a collective identity. And then something unusual happened in rock history. The band became bigger than the music industry expected. Merchandise exploded. Comic books, lunchboxes, action figures, pinball machines. Kiss didn't just sell records, they built an empire of imagery. Kids who had never attended a concert still knew the faces, still knew the symbols, still shouted the lyrics like they were inherited language. But behind the spectacle, cracks were forming. Success amplified everything. Ego, exhaustion, substance abuse, creative disagreements. Ace Frehley and Peter Criss struggled with the weight of fame and internal pressure. The band's original chemistry began to fracture under the same intensity that made them famous. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, the mask wasn't just makeup anymore. It started to feel like a burden. Members came and went. Musical direction shifted. At one point, the band even removed the makeup entirely, trying to survive as something more normal. But normal never fit them, because the truth was simple. The myth was stronger than the compromise. In the mid-1990s, they made a decision that stunned the music world. They brought the original lineup back, makeup and all. It wasn't nostalgia, it was reclamation. Stadium tours followed. Fans who had grown up with the band now brought their children, and the cycle repeated. Time didn't weaken the identity, it reinforced it. Through every era, one thing stayed consistent. Kiss understood something many bands never fully grasped. Music is sound, but legacy is image, emotion, and experience fused together. They weren't trying to be subtle, they were trying to be permanent. And whether people loved them, criticized them, or imitated them, one fact never changed. When the lights go down and the first chord hits, the world still recognizes the signal.